about you. One plus one ain't always two. When you learn the stuff every day, taking me round and round this London Bridge, just falling down, destructive in every way, every way. We don't need it, 'cause you go and speak your mind, you speak your mind, honey. We don't need it. You have to be with your kind and make lots of money. Go and help yourself, you don't need no one else. Go and help yourself, 'cause you're running out of time. Go and help yourself, you don't need no one else. Go and help yourself, you're breaking on my mind. Oh, can't you feel it? Did you steal it? Can't you feel it? You're breaking on my mind. Could you see it? Don't you want to be it? Could you see that you're running out of time? Won't you do it? There's nothing to it. Won't you do it? What else is there to find? Can't you feel it? Don't you want to be it? Can't you feel it? You're breaking on my mind. Go and help yourself, you don't need no one else. Go and help yourself, 'cause you're running out of time. Go and help yourself, you don't need no one else. Go and help yourself, you're breaking on my mind. Go and help yourself, you don't need no one else. Go and help yourself, 'cause you're running out of time. Go and help yourself, you don't need no one else. Go and help yourself. Don't need no music, 'cause I can do just bad all by myself. I don't need no music, 'cause I can do that just by all myself. This song is called Saturday Inside My Head. Here we go. Damn, it's only Wednesday. Go to my mind. It feels like the weekend. And right now, I'll go for party fever. Bouncing to this girl here in my head. Oh, I like it. No, I love it. And if you stare, I don't care. Because all I can do is keep it moving. Oh, I like twist and shout. The weekday will keep me down instead. It's always Saturday inside my head. If you have structured payments, but you need cash now, call JG Wentworth 877 cash now. Wow. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Where is my camera? See, this is what happens. My camera's not there. Oh, you know why it's not there? Because y'all can hear me. Because I don't have it plugged in. Hello, my name is Dumbass. I had to do an OBS update. I was like, oh no, I didn't check the sources. It's been that kind of week. What's good, y'all? Let me push this down a little bit.
That's my fault. That's my fault. What's good, everybody? It's your girl, Allie A. I hope you have had a great week. It's been a long one for me. I apologize. This is the first stream I've had to do all week. I actually do have a real job. Believe it or not, maybe one day if this thing grows to where I could do this more on a full-time schedule, that would be dope. Otherwise, I'm just having fun like all the other nerds in nerddom. But you're tuning into a brand new episode of Two Hoes and a Console. Please like, follow, share if you care, because a hoe's trying to grow. We are definitely live tonight on YouTube, on Twitch, both channels, Two Hoes and a Console. You can find the information, details linked in the video description. Also at the House of Ho, we are a fairly new channel. We are trying to grow. 100% of the proceeds go towards making things better for you. So if you feel the need in your heart to donate, there's definitely a link down there. It is definitely not required. I feel like knowledge is power, and a lot of knowledge is definitely free. I am here to entertain and also educate and just have conversations with folks who are excited about certain things, like the PlayStation 5. We had a lot of news this week regarding the PS5. We're going to talk about each different thing, starting with the teardown. I think it's very important. A lot of people on social have not been discussing the teardown properly. And I think it's just because there's a lot of confusion and clarity in terms of the strengths and areas where you might compare your current PS4 console to the PS5. We will also talk about the news that dropped today where Sony talked about backwards compatibility in terms of games, in terms of accessories, things of that nature. And then, of course, we will talk about where and or when you will be able to potentially secure a PlayStation 5 pre-order if you did not have the opportunity to do so. It is Fun Friday. We might as well get into it. Get into it while you do it. While you do it. Feel free to tune in with the chat. Would hear your feedback if you have questions, topics that you feel like you want to discuss. By all means, we're here together. All right, we're going to start with the teardown first. I'm just trying to find my tab because the teardown to me is really important. Let's hope y'all can see that. No, you can't see that. Why can't you see that? You can't see anything. I did an OBS update. Let me add a new source and see if that fixes it. You know, this has been happening a lot with OBS. No, it's not doing it. It's not doing it. Hey, okay. Oh, there it is. Oh, but I actually think I've duped it. There we go. Or should I mute that one? No, let's mute that one. There we go. Okay. I was like, what in the world is going on today? I'm telling you, it's crazy here in the House of Home. But we're going to talk about the teardown because I want to make sure people understand how, what's the best way to describe this? Really how future-proof this console is. If you talk about what we have versus where we're going, the goal of when you're making an investment, right? An investment in a console, especially when Sony has already talked about, and we've discussed this, that they will be providing support for the PlayStation 4, most likely up until 2024. Don't be surprised if they might push it to like early 2025. And you have the PS4 Pro, where some PS4 Pro owners, depending upon the game, are able to game in either 4K 30 frames per second and maybe 4K 60 frames per second, depending upon some of these updates and remasters. So I am really someone like me who had a first-gen PS4, took advantage of getting the PS4 1 terabyte Slim because it had HDR into it, and you could see a difference even from an HDR standpoint if you have a 4K HDR TV, which I'm assuming everyone who watches this channel does. I will be doing like a little Black Friday breakdown sometime early November. I'm hoping that's not you. You should not. Don't get it twisted. I know everybody's struggle game is different. This is a judgment-free zone. But if you are the person who wants to play a PlayStation 5 on a 720 pixel LCD television, I'm judging you. This face is judging you. So we will talk about how to remedy that and upgrade your technology. But we're going to watch this teardown first. Actually, I wouldn't even say full screen. I wish I could do it. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull it up on YouTube so I can do theater mode. That's what I was like. That's what I wanted. I was like, I don't want to do full screen. All these ads. Boo. Give me theater mode, bet. Okay. So we're gonna watch PS5 Teardown. I might make myself a wee bit smaller, maybe not. Just a smidgen smaller for the time being, for the sake of watching the teardown. Let's get it.
PlayStation 5です。サイズは幅 104mm、高さ 390mm、奥行き 260mm と PS4 より一回り大きくすることにより、処理能力や静音性の面で飛躍的な性能向上を実現しました。
Okay. Okay, let's be like Juvenile and back that ass up. That's great that we want Japanese subtitles. Where I mean, that's not ideal. Okay, auto translate. English. There we go. My bad, y'all. My bad. A hoe understands. Where the English at? Where the English at? We live on YouTube and Twitch. I gotta find the English. Where the English at? All right, let's get it.
PlayStation 5です。
Nice.
サイズは幅 104mm、高さ 390mm、奥行き 260mm と
So that
PS4 より
is
一回り大きく幅 104mm、高さ
that is a big
390mm。
boy. Look at that. I don't think they meant to say 104 days height. It's 104 days height. And I'm working like a dog. 104 days height. And I'm sleeping like a log. I'm like, clearly, 4 and 104 days height ago. The PlayStation 5. Okay, so I'm assuming it's supposed to be 104 millimeters in terms of height. 390 millimeters in terms of depth, and then I'm assuming this 260 millimeters is width. That is what I would call a fat daddy. And I think the weight for the console is a little over 10 pounds. That's translation. Make some room. So some people are, some people are going to have it horizontal. Because some people have an entertainment stand console system, if you will, where they have like a DVD player or maybe other video game consoles, their TV, their sound bar. Some people are going to lay it horizontal, and we're going to show it in the breakdown here. But if you have it vertical, you need to make sure, unless your TV is mounted on the wall, that you actually have enough space on the edge of your TV stand to be able to make sure you don't want the bass rumbling and thumbling and tip me over, pour me out like I'm a little teacup. We're gonna have some serious problems. This is a brand new console. So I think this is good to know. You got 104 millimeters height, 390 millimeters depth, 260 millimeters width. Go ahead, again, game plan. We're all about game planning and strategizing here. Make sure you start making the preparations now to figure out, it's not just about buying the console. We're gonna talk about that too. You gotta know where you're gonna put it and where you wanna put it. Make sure it fits. Just food for thought, just food for thought.
奥行き260ミリと PS4 より一回り大きくすることにより
It's definitely larger than the PS4, but that's not the issue. The console design is a beautiful, fatty Wi-Fi box, and I'm here for it.
ポートとハイスピード USB 対応の
Okay, we got USB-C up to 10 gigabits per second in terms of speed, and then a Type A USB. I'm assuming it's at least USB 3. It has to be, because from the other pictures that they were blue. So it looks like here we have USB-C on the front and Type A on the front. Now, some people are old school. They want to do the hard line. Some people might think about, when I say hard line, I'm talking about your dual sense controllers. Some people go wireless in terms of charging. That is honest to God for me. Let me know what accessories, let me know in the chat if you've secured the PS5, but also let me know what accessories that you've ordered, because the one accessory I definitely ordered with pride was the DualSense wireless charging station, because for the PS4, I've been at the mercy of having it charge by the console, and then I eventually bought a power brick and would just make sure my power brick's charged so I could just like have it next to me playing and charging, even if I'm swapping between controllers, right? Like I was doing a GTA casino heist, and my left joystick wouldn't move properly during the heist, and so GTA, I was slowing folks down, and I'm just like, what is going on? But it turns out something heavy was sitting on top of my controller and jacked up the joystick movement in GTA. I switched controllers. The other controller does fine, but I went down to one controller. Imagine the people who only will have one controller, right? They're like $70. Am I spending it on a second controller, or am I spending it on a game? Spend it on the game, but you really want to make sure that if you can, get the dual charging station. And we will talk about retailers who have certain accessories in stock. Cop them now. Please cop them now. But that's good to see we have USB A and C. Okay, again, future proofing. That's what we care about. We care about future proofing.
Type A ポート。右側には
Okay, on the back we have two more USB A's. Right, you see the blue, so that's at least USB 3. Anytime you see blue on the inner, it's at least USB 3. Your LAN and your HDMI out and your power terminal. Okay, so you really have 4 USB ports, 3 USB A's, which is essentially USB 3, 1 USB-C, your hard line connection, your HDMI out, and your power brick connector for your AC in. Future proofing. I like this. I wonder, as we talk about storage, and we will talk about storage tonight as well, the different options people are going to attempt to take, right? And we'll definitely get into storage, because I think that's important, especially in terms of future proofing, what you're going to have to think about in terms of short term versus long term, maybe versus no term. Maybe you just own 3 games and storage is not an issue for you. I understand that, but I don't need to have a copy of Madden 2021 when it's 2025 and I'm playing on my PS5 console. You're eating up space. So, to each their own.
フロント側の2列が吸気口です。
So you got air vents, right?
リア側はすべて排気口。
So just like any computer, you got vents that suck the air in, suck the cool air in, you push the hot air out.
コインネジで固定されています。
So this is the stand that's included with the PS5. And it allows you to sit the PS5 either vertically or horizontally, depending upon the design scope that you're going for in terms of aesthetics. And if you're going for that look of, oh, you just want to keep everything seamless and clean, they have a little cover for the screw port. A lot of people are very judgmental about the stand. I think there's other important things to worry about than the complexity of the stand. It does its job. Look at that fat daddy right there. Look at that. Look at that fat daddy right there. It's huge. Huge, right? Now here is, I wouldn't say a problem that I have. It's not necessarily a problem, but as you can see, if we move down a little bit, this is only, obviously this only matters if you got the disc version, which 75% of the country who pre-ordered got the disc version. I think they said only 8 to 10% of the people who pre-ordered PS5 were able to actually get a digital version. I think that was also on purpose, but we'll talk about that. So, if you compare the PS4 right now, right? Like if I'm looking, if my PS4 is facing me, the disk drive is actually on the same side, but look how where they have the stand, it makes it inverted. It gives it the sense that it's inverted, right? Because the PS4, right, you have your two layers that kind of go like this, like a staircase, if you will, right? And the disk drive is here and it's right side up, and then it's everything else in terms of motherboard processing, and then it sits like a staircase. I'm not sure. I like the look of it being horizontal. I'm not sure if I like the disk drive being this low. Because you have, and they talk about it in the breakdown, it's just, I might have to compare where they place everything else, right? You see what I'm saying? Because you have your heat sink, you have your cooling fan, and I just don't want this to be, I don't know if load bearing is the right way to describe it, but I just don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about this with the disc being that way. I would assume with the casing, and they're going to show the casing here, it might be sturdy enough to where it's not a factor at all. And if that's the case, cool. But I might, again, it's like people who have those towers in their horizontal, I just don't understand it. My PC tower, my streaming PC is vertical. I might try to see if I can make vertical work. I don't know if I have enough space on my TV stand where I actually would probably have to do it horizontal. That's just me. Let me know in the comments in the chat what you think so far about the teardown. Still looks bomb. Looks very bomb. Now this is what a lot of people were excited about. You can take the side panels off. And I know a lot of people who like to play around with like visual art and painting and spray painting or taking vinyl stickers and decorating stuff like that. People are going to be really excited about the panels. There's also, and we will watch it, someone did like a mock rendering of what the Miles Morales limited edition PlayStation 5 could look like. And it could be something as easy as just popping off different panels. And we will go back to that here as well, because it seemed very simple to do. It was pretty much just slide it, unlock it, and lift. Unlock it and lift. And he didn't look like he was struggling too much.
スライドすると発生。
Right? Just gotta pop a little force, pop it out, lift,
こちらも
Right
後ろの角を持ち上げて
and then pop it out and lift. And you'll see here, right? You have the disk drive upside down. It's upside down. So there's whatever is on this side of the console is going to be load bearing. And maybe they thought about that. You know, Sony's smart. Spicy. They spicy.
ここに
Okay, you have your
冷却用のファン
built-in
が
cooling
内蔵
fan.
されています。
Again, just like any computer, you need to cool it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, did you see what I see? Why am I singing today? We are just happy this Friday. Okay. Look at that. Look at those scratches. Look at those scratches. Not my buttons. Not my gun drop buttons. Look at those scratches. And that's just from taking the side panels off. Now, let's be like Juvenile. Back that ass up. Plastic scratching, outer casing. You know, like those grandmas, if they see a smudge on your face, say, lick. You do it in COVID. I'm mimicking it. They lick the thumb, and then they try to get the smudge off. I don't know if a little spit shine would fix it, but look at the scratches. So much for handle with care. Something to think about if you plan on customizing stuff like that. I just like to keep things as is for the sake of peace and harmony and not voiding my warranty.
両側から大量の空気を吸い込みます。
So the cooling fan is on both sides, which is great, right? Again, just like any system, anything that has electronics and circuits inside of it, you gotta push cool air in so it doesn't overheat, and you gotta push the hot air out so it doesn't overheat. Because unless you like your gaming consoles fried, dyed, and laid to the side, I know a lot of people who have owned PS4s for quite some time will talk about them getting hot, talk about certain issues with overheating. I personally lucked out by the grace of the video game gods and never had that issue, but I'm sure as they went to next gen in terms of aerodynamics, in terms of airflow and efficiency and less energy usage, I'm sure they took all these things into consideration. So it's great to see that they actually have dual-sided cooling as they should.
両側から大量の空気を吸い込みます。PS5 では2箇所にダストキャッチャーを設
Now
けます。
this is nice, right? Just like a computer or any electronic console, right? I'm assuming you clean your house. A hoe can dream. So to be able to take a little vacuum, a little dust, or a little hose and get the dust out if it catches, that's great. Ease of use and easy system maintenance. Again, we want to keep it as easy, as efficient as possible. Now look, let me let me go to my in-between for a second. Let me go to my in-between for a second. I'm gonna tell you why.
ダストキャッチャーに
My first job out of college was working for Apple. Worked at an Apple store in Chicago, and we got stuff all the time in the Genius Room in terms of having to replace mobile devices, desktop devices, computers, whatever. I'll never forget it. This guy had one of the old school white casing iMac computers, with the all-in-ones that used to have like the combo drive built into it. I was in the Genius Room in the back talking with a friend of mine. He took it apart and opened up the front panel. it was smothered and covered in dust and ash. Dust and ash. You could tell that man was a hardcore chain smoker. Now, why do I say this? Look, gamers, we game, we do our thing. A lot of folks, not me, judgment free, a lot of folks like to light it up. I think for the folks who like to light it up and aren't maybe the neatest or tidiest of folks, should really be paying attention to the dust catchers where you can keep your console clean and neat and tidy. Again, we're trying to future-proof, keep things in the long term. The goal is to not have to buy a PS5 once a year. The goal is to buy a PS5, maybe you end up making a storage upgrade to it and you keep it for the lifespan of the generation of that console. I'm just saying, that's me though. That's just me. That's just me. What do I know? That's just me though.
ダストキャッチャーに溜まったホコリはこの2箇所の穴から
See, you can vacuum the dust out.
将来の
I'm
拡張
waiting
スト
for
レージ用
Dyson
と
to
して
make a
PCIe 4.0 に対応した M.2 インターフェースを搭載しています。
So there you have it. The PCIe 4.0. So you're talking an M.2 solid state drive that you could stick into that slot to expand your storage. It's not the only way you can expand storage, but it will probably be the most efficient way that you could expand your storage to take advantage of the capabilities of the PS5. We will talk about storage expansion. I love the fact that Sony put the M.2 slot in a place where you don't have to worry about doing anything that would void the warranty. You don't have to take a sticker off or a decal and be like, hey, you do this at your own risk. They understand to future-proof the console, people are going to be putting in an extra 500 gigs, an extra terabyte, extra 2 terabytes of storage. That costs money. Costs that Sony cannot front at this time. I mean, let's keep it real. They didn't even put a full terabyte SSD on the motherboard of the console. You know why? You know how much a terabyte SSD costs? And you want them to do the frick thing else. And don't get it twisted, I know they're a manufacturer. But even after 860 gigs of storage, I mean, we've seen some things where people, after the OS and UI and features and main things to keep the PlayStation functioning are uploaded, you might have 750 gigs. We saw some leaks online where you might only have 680 something gigs. Okay, it's hard out here for storage. It's really. I remember back in my day, the floppy disk, I could have 2 Word documents on there and an email from my Clara over there in Wichita, Kansas. Right? Like, storage is tough to come by. So they're future-proofing it. That's what matters. They're future-proofing it. It's an investment. It's an investment in the future. The future thing. The future the PS5. The future right? Okay. Great. And it's a convenient location. You know, if you upgrade your storage down the line, you're not voiding the warranty. That's brilliant. Lovely. Don't judge me. Oh, there it is. There it is. Speaking of voiding warranties, some people, if you have the bankroll to do it, some people will be purchasing PS5s, spare PS5s to customize them. And I mean customization beyond spray painting the panels and putting in an extra M.2 SSD. Some people want to play around with the guts of the console. And if they're in the financial position to do that and they want to share that content on social media for the sake of educating folks, by all means, I'm for that. But we all know once that sticker is cracked, Ain't no going back. Once the sticker is cracked, there ain't no going back. Do not take apart your PlayStation 5 if you don't know what the you're doing. Carry on. So that seems like there's another cover there he's taking off. Right, so now he's starting to take out the outer clam shell part that helps with the vents, like an aesthetic design, okay? So now he's taking apart the cooling fan. Right. So 120 millimeter cooling fan, you do see that sometimes in certain gaming PC builds where they have one 120 millimeter cooling fan. Sometimes it has a cooler attached to it, sometimes it doesn't, right? So people who PC game understand this. You either have tons of fans everywhere, or you have one cooling fan that has a cooler attached to it, attached to the motherboard over the processor, or you have a form of liquid cooling with a radiator that might be a 240 millimeter radiator, so you could have two 120 millimeter fans attached to the radiator, whether it's on the front or at the top of the motherboard, or depending upon the build of the computer in the rear, depending on the case design. So cooling is important. You have to keep stuff at temperatures where they won't self-combust. That's it, right? When the PlayStation, when a gaming console, when a computer is off, it's at its coolest, right? When you put stress on it, major games that are coming out, whether it's a Spider-Man, whether it's an Assassin's Creed, whether it's a Call of Duty, and you're running 4K 60 frames per second, with remastering, ray tracing, everything else, guess what? It's cooking inside. So to see that size of a cooling fan is very reassuring. It means that they have taken time to measure out the importance of A, what do we need to cool the console, and B, where do we need to place it, right? Again, pushing cool air in, pulling cool air in, pushing hot air out. So I like that. That's what I'm saying. If it's going to be a fat daddy, give it a fat daddy cooling fan. That's reassuring to me. Okay, this is the disk drive. I'm assuming that this is Ultra Blu-ray disc. You see what I mean? Look at that.
Ultra HD Blu-ray のドライブユニットです。
Okay, so I like this for two reasons. The first reason is it has an outer shell casing, like a really thick, really sturdy outer shell casing. So they've taken into consideration A, where do we place it? And B, how do we protect it? Because that's what it needs the most. It needs to be protected. So when I see this design, right, that was my first concern was, where's the support coming from? But this is the bottom, so this will actually be flipped. See what I mean? If you sit it horizontally. If you're sitting it vertically, you're just going to rotate that 90 degrees, right? If this is 9 o'clock, just rotate it to 12 o'clock, and that's how it will be standing up. But if you're going to have this and you're going to be having it horizontal, then you need to flip it to the opposite way. You need to flip it 180, and that's how it's going to be on the bottom, because that was my primary concern for people who were having a horizontal. How much weight is going to be load bearing on this disk drive? But I think based on this outer steel casing, this gives me a sense of reassurance in terms of stability. It's like, you don't want, sometimes when you would have older gen consoles or computers, sometimes you'd have the disk drive smacking against the motherboard. Like if something came loose and the casing wasn't right inside, you'd have to swap out the disk drive. Some of the older Macs would do that. Oh my God, you can't see the screen? I'm sorry. I'm a dumbass. I am a dumbass. I will rewind it. It's been a crazy day. Call me Amber. My bad. My bad. I will go back to the section of the cooling fan. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Where is my brain? Not here. My brain is not here. We will go back to where the weed smokers need to suck out the dust from the console. Okay, let's go back to the weed smokers and action. Thank you for calling a hoe. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, quick brief, I love the fact that your expandable storage has nothing to do with voiding the warranty. You don't have to rip off a sticker. It doesn't say you're expanding storage at your own risk. It's a separate slot. You pop off one side of the plastic case and then you put in an M.2. That's it. I love it. We're going to talk about M.2s in a little bit. And what I would personally recommend if you're really craving storage right now. I really think it depends on how much of your old gen content are you transferring over and what games do you plan on actually buying for PS5, because storage is going to be Cookie Monster, we eating it up. But I love this. We're not voiding the warranty. Lovely. I'm going to take apart everything else, and now this is where you say F your warranty. Look at the detail in the sticker there. That's what I'm saying. Love is in the details. You don't miss much. Okay, we're popping that off here. Yep, and this little plastic piece here. Okay, we're getting to the outer area here. Pulling apart the cooling fan. And as I was saying earlier, a Fat Daddy cooling fan for a Fat Daddy gaming console. That's very reassuring. The fact, the aerodynamics of the design, where they have the heating, where they have the vents to release air and suck air in, how the fan is dual-sided and exposed that way. I do love that very much, okay? If you have the disc version, this is the only part that matters to you. But the fact that that steel casing is very, very, very reassuring. Because it didn't cost Sony much to put that in there. But the fact that it's there and the design that we have makes me a happy home, right? It used to be that without that. That would be Houston, we have a mother effing problem. But to see this together and the design, I'm very pleased. Sony has made Blu-ray players for God knows how long now. I would expect them to not F that up. But if they did, they would be completely trolled. This is very important, okay? Again, we talk about future-proofing. Wi-Fi 6, future-proof. Bluetooth. It's supposed to say Bluetooth, okay? Whoever did, we're not gonna throw shade at the person who's taking Japanese and auto-translating it into English. But whoever that engineer is at YouTube really should be put on probation. Because I don't want my 5.1 Bluetooth anywhere near something where it's not supposed to be. Actually, someone should do a remix track called 5.1 Bluetooth. But again, future-proof, 5.1 Bluetooth, Wi-Fi 6. Okay, that's important. Make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you got a Cat 6 or a Cat 7 grade Ethernet connection if you're not going to be running hardline. You really should be running hardline if you're gaming, but we'll save that debate for another day. So now we have the motherboard that's exposed, the other side of the processor, and the motherboard.
CPU.
Look at that. Look at that. Okay. You got an AMD Ryzen Zen 2, okay? It's an 8-core processor, 16 threads, right? The more threads you have, the more it helps with the rendering and the ray tracing and gaming in 4K. It's very important. There's a lot of gaming PCs out there right now who don't have 8 cores or 16 threads. Some of you elite PC gamers are going to say no one gives a F. This is not about you. This is for the console gamers. Again, it's future proof. That's what matters. That's what matters.
で最大 3.5GHz で
3.5 gig GPU,
GPU
and
は
it looks like
最大
2.23 gigs of
2.23GHz で
turbo.
駆動し
Okay.
10.3
You got
Hz
your AMD Radeon RDNA 2-base graphics engine.
特殊を実現します。
Everybody's focused on teraflops. No one gives a fuck about your teraflops. Let's be very clear about something, okay? All these Xbox folks, and again, I'm an equal opportunity hater, right? Like, if PlayStation is your thing, that's your thing. If Xbox is your thing, that's your thing. If PC gaming is your thing, that's your thing. But at the end of the day, don't let marketing words deter you from the root of it all. Everybody wants to talk about Microsoft has more teraflops. Don't listen to the marketing hype of teraflops. Teraflops is just phony baloney for Microsoft to be able to say they have something more than, for Microsoft to say that Xbox has something more than PlayStation. Don't believe that hype, right? Just like with any computer, right? You need to make sure it's cooled properly. You need to make sure you have a processor that can do the job. You need to make sure you have graphics that can do the job. And you need to make sure you have memory that can support it all, right? So you have 8 DDR6, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So each of these pieces here are 2 gigs of DDR6 memory to make up the full total of 16 gigs of memory. That's plenty for console gaming. It's future proof. It's not DDR3, 4, or 5. It is DDR6. 448 gigs per second. Like, you're fine. Have several seats, please.
バンド幅は最大で毎秒 448GB です。
Beautiful.
ストレージは
Beautiful.
HDD に代わり 825GB の
So
SSD を
then
オン
this
ボ
is
ード
where
で
they put the SSD. Same thing, right? Think about memory, right? Like if you like a memory stick, they just took like a memory stick and pizza sliced it up. They took a SSD and pizza sliced it up. Aerodynamics, design, efficiency, things of that nature. So you have 825 gigs. In all realistic talk, after the UI and the OS and everything else is put on there, you're probably going to be looking between 675 to 750 gigs of usable gaming capacity space. That's why I said we will talk about storage here in a moment, but let's continue with the breakdown video.
カスタムの SSD コントローラーにより読み込み速度は生データの転送速度で
Keep them hoes in line. You SSDs, you better stay in
ゲームのロー
line.
ド時間を大幅に短縮しています
Again, solid state helps with loading times. Again, when everything's attached and soldered to the motherboard, when it's one no little moving mechanical
そ
pieces,
のため
it's just
シリコン台の熱
efficiency.
密度が非常に高く
Efficiency.
SOC とヒートシンクの間に挟む TIM と呼ばれる熱伝導材の大幅な性能アップが必要でした PS5 では長期で安定した高い冷却性能を実現するためこの TIM に液体金属を採用しました我々は2年以上前からこの液体金属
So this is the thing that's exciting to me, is that we have truly new technology, right? So people who are PC gamers understand, and people who have built gaming PCs. I built my first one with a colleague a few months ago, primarily for streaming, but I have started to download games just so I can get a knack for PC gaming, right? When you attach the processor to the motherboard on a computer, you use thermal paste to, 1, keep it in place, and 2, to make sure it doesn't overheat. And a lot of times when you have thermal paste, it's most likely attached to a radiator. So it's like the radiator keeps the system cool. If you're not using thermal paste, you have 12 fans inside of the casing unit. So when I see that Sony has taken the time to work years on a technology to make sure A, we don't F it up, and B, it makes sense, this is great. This is great, right? They've worked on liquid metal for 2 years. Liquid metal is very volatile. Nuclear plants use liquid metal, okay? I know this is an up-close shot, but that's not a lot of liquid metal. And the fact that it is new tech and they're using it in small doses, but that dose is a good enough amount. Again, like with thermal paste, you put it all over the top base of the chip, right? That liquid metal on that processor is telling me, hey, this gets the job done, hun. Future proofing your investment. That's what matters. It is future proof. And I appreciate them and respect them being honest, like, hey, we had this ish like late 2017, early 2018. We just didn't want to blow up y'all's house. Thank you. Thank you for not blowing up my big house. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Very, very much. In the PS5, liquid metal is used as a device to achieve long-term stability and high cooling performance. That's why I said in a lot of gaming PCs, mega streaming PCs, a lot of people use radiators, aka liquid cooling, to be able to keep the inside of the computer at a temp where it can regulate at optimal performance. Okay, this is pretty much taking away the need for a radiator, and they're like, hey, we put liquid metal on the chip, we perfected the technology in this amount of dosage, we put it on the PS5 processor chip, then we have the 120 millimeter cooling fan, we're done. I also think that's good too, because it's probably going to help with noise, right? It's probably, a lot of times gaming PCs, they have so many parts and so many fans, they're running. My streaming PC right here, I have 6 fans and a 240 millimeter liquid cooling Corsair radiator. Like, for its size, it's quiet. But for a lot of people, like, you don't want anything running. You don't want to be able to hear the power. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to feel like you're riding in a Cadillac, just sitting cozy. So this is good to see. Very promising. Very promising. This is actually my favorite part of the breakdown video. So that's great to see. You know, Sony's sticking it out there. We know where they make their money, but they're sticking it out. Holy moly, that's a heat sink. Whoa! Look at all that copper. Folks gonna be jacking PlayStation 5 just to trade the copper. What the hell? Y'all better hide your PS5s. Motherfuckers gonna be breaking into houses, stealing PS5s, taking them apart, pulling the copper out the heatsink and trading it to damn lumberjacks and construction workers and shit. That is a fat daddy heatsink. But again, that is reassuring to me, because again, fat daddy console, fat daddy fan, fat daddy heatsink, fat daddy performance. I like it. I don't think a lot of people are prepared for the size of this mamma jamma. That's why I said, do the research, be prepared. Holy chestnuts, that is big. That is big. And then your power supply. There's your power brick. Look at that. And then the rest of the casing. Well, don't you look happy to be there, sir? Wow. Oh, look at this. This is why the terms and conditions are important. The dust catcher does not guarantee the hardware clogging from dust. It shouldn't. Hardware is always going to clog from dust. I don't see anything efficient there. What'd you think? What'd you think? What'd you think? Future proof. Future proof. Future proofing the console. And I think this should help people. The reason I really wanted to watch the breakdown video live is because this is really going to help people who have a PS4 decide if they want to make that leap yet. And people, I think a lot of people forget the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 is as old as 2013. 2013. I mean, that's new technology all around. All around new technology. And so you got to make sure that when you think about this as an investment, yeah, PS4, right? The PS4 is from 2013. Thank you, Queen Bee. Love you, mean it. The PS4 is from 2013, okay? So when you come up to now, outside of the PS4 Pro, again, folks like us who have owned the PS4 since 2013, even though, and did not upgrade to the PS4 Pro, I did not do that because I like to make upgrades when there's a new redesign, aka a true next-gen console. This should be a no-brainer. If you have a PS4, if you have a PS4 who that's the first gen PS4, 500 gigabytes, or if you have a PS4 that was even the 1 terabyte slim and you got it in like 2015, 2016, this should be a no-brainer for you. Shadower, what's up? Got my pre-order paid off on the 25th thanks to you. Look at that. Look at God. Secure in the bag. Bravo to you. Oh, that just tickles me pink. You secured the pre-order. Yay! We're going to talk about wave 3 of pre-orders because the clock is ticking, okay? Holy chestnuts, that's awesome to hear. Oh, that made my Friday. Oh, I'm getting misty-eyed. Oh my God, this is so great. It should be a no-brainer. Now here's the other thing though. There are some people who secured a PS4 Pro for their very first time of owning any version of the PS4 less than 2 years ago. The people who might have bought like the Red Dead Redemption 2 PS4 Pro. Some people might have purchased The Last of Us 2 PS4 Pro. Somebody might have purchased, I think it was last holiday season, Sony did the PS4 Pro Spider-Man bundle for $299. And people copped that joint quick. So if that is your situation, I completely would understand if you wanted to hold off till holiday season 2021 to secure a PS5. But if you have a PS4 500 gig or 1 terabyte model, this is a no-brainer. This is an absolute no-brainer. You take care of your stuff takes care of you. Yes, it's $399 if you can find a digital. Good luck. Like they said in Taken, good luck, right? Or the $499 physical disc version. Even if it's $500 after tax, you keep that thing for 4 to 7 years. You divide that by 48 to 60 months. What kind of car payment is that? $10 a month? Get out of here with that horse nanny poo-poo. Now, appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure you like, follow, share if you care, because a hoe's trying to grow. The next thing we are going to talk about, Sony did break down, I'm going to pull it up here in a moment, backwards compatibility. They did a blog post today regarding backwards compatibility. It's very, very, very important information because a lot of us who own PS4s want to know what the hell's going to happen with our games, okay? I have a lot riding on my Red Dead Redemption 2 story mode. I want to know what's going to happen with it, okay? I don't know if my story mode. Do you? Didn't think so. So, PS4 games, your questions are answered for PS5. A lot of great news. Spoiler alert, a lot of great news. So, details on backwards compatibility. Cool. PS5 launches this November. This is the fat daddy that matters. More than 99% of the 4,000 plus games on PS4 are playable on PS5. When I get my Stream Deck up and running, hallelujah. We know you have questions about how PS4 games work on PS5. They've given us an overview, okay? We will go over this step by step just to see if anything sticks out to somebody, okay? They've focused on a huge catalog of the PS4. I'm assuming the most relevant, so let me back up for a moment. I didn't think, let me say this. I won't say I never thought, I won't say the thought never crossed my mind. I was hoping, as an avid consumer of certain developers, Rockstar, Naughty Dog, that you would not leave a hoe behind, right? Online really doesn't scare me, right? My GTA Online, my Red Dead Online, that doesn't scare me. It's the story modes, right? My career modes with 2K and Madden, my story modes with GTA and Red Dead Redemption. I don't want to lose those. Your Last of Us 2, I don't want to lose those. Right? So this is very, very reassuring, okay? Essentially what they're saying, this includes games that define a generation, right? They're talking about PS exclusives, blockbuster hits from third-party partners, okay? What's the difference between PS4 games on the PS5 digital versus Ultra Blu-ray disc drive? Okay. Game experience is the same. You will have access to the content depending upon the version, okay? PS5 digital. Okay, obviously we know there is no disc drive, okay? You'll be able to play the digital versions of your compatible PS4 games, if I could highlight that you better, on the PS5 digital. These will be compatible PS4 digital games you've already purchased, plan to purchase via the PlayStation Store, PS4, PS5 web, or PS mobile app. Since there's no disc drive, you won't be able to play PS4 disc-based games. Why is this important, okay? If you don't take any information from me today, you take this one piece of information. I try to give you all, ladies and gentlemen, and however the heck you choose to identify, I try to give you one piece of valid information per stream so you can be set up for success. Are you ready? Here it goes. Do not sell your PS4. Don't sell it. Why aren't we selling the PS4? I thought we talked about securing a PS5 pre-order, putting your PlayStation 4 up for sale. Maybe you get between $150 to $250 for it, depending upon who's willing to bite. And then the money that you take from selling your PS4 reduces the cost of the PlayStation 5. Now that we know that 99.9% of PS4 catalog will be compatible on PS5, do not sell it. Next month, they might do it earlier, they might do it later, they might do it around the time they originally do it, okay? What happens next month, November? Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, y'all know the deal, okay? If there are games that are currently live on PS4, where if you own them on PS4, you get the free upgrade to the PS5, whether it's the free remaster, the free ray tracing, the free enhanced graphics, the free whatever. Don't sell the PS4 because you will get what? PS4 prices? Don't do it. Do not do it. Here's an example. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, the brand new one that came out. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's loved it. I own both of those on Nintendo 64. The second it came out, I was like, I'm going to cop that Thanksgiving week. Why? Because why in the world would I pay $50 for a game that's most likely going to be 50 to 65% off come Thanksgiving, and I get a free upgrade on PS5? Here's what you do. You keep your PlayStation 4. If you have the spare port, just plug it into a different HDMI input on your TV. If you don't have a spare input on your TV, make one. Or you can hook up your PlayStation 4 and run it through maybe your computer monitor if you have a spare input, a spare HDMI input on your computer monitor, or a spare $20 bum monitor you can find at Goodwill or on Craigslist or OfferUp, okay? You buy the games that you've been waiting for to do on PS5, on PS4 at a discounted price, and then upgrade them on PS5, right? It's just like Madden. 2K might be a little bit different, but Madden, for example. I don't like to buy Madden until Thanksgiving week because it's always half price. That has been the trend. Your EA games, your Maddens, your FIFAs, your 2Ks, your NHLs, your UFCs, those types of games, when they're usually $59.99 when they drop brand new, holiday season, they usually drop down to $29.99. Target has had that trend. Walmart has had that trend. Best Buy has had that trend. If it wasn't $29.99, it was $34.99. And I don't play 2K to try to get to rank 99. I like career mode on 2K. That's why I play it. So I am not in a rush to grind to get to 99. Therefore, I don't need to own 2K day one. So why not wait until the Thanksgiving sales drop, rack up on your games, buy them for PS4, and then log into your PS5 and download them. And you're not paying PS5 prices. PS5 prices, we're not paying them, we're saving money. Lots of money, we're saving money. Where the money savers at? Where they at? Where the money savers at? In the house of Ho, we like to save money on our car insurance by switching to Geico, okay? Do not sell your PS4 yet. Put it up for sale. Well, if you miss the kids who are doing Hanukkah, actually, you won't miss the kids who are doing Hanukkah, because the kids who celebrate Hanukkah and they get their Hanukkah money, you know what they're going to do? They're going to buy a PS4. Put it up for sale the first week of December. I promise you, if you price it right, it'll be sold 2 weeks tops. If you stay on top of your listing, I promise you. But this is such great news. Do not sell your PlayStation 4. I have waited to play The Last of Us 2. Why? Because I wanted to play it on PS5. Now that it's a part of the PlayStation Plus collection, at least the first Last of Us remastered, don't you think that The Last of Us 2 is going to be discounted from $59.99 to $29.99, and I'm going to get the benefits of ray tracing and the enhanced graphics playing it on PlayStation 5? Save money, people. Save your money. Do not sell your PlayStation till the Thanksgiving Cyber Monday sales drop on games. You rack up on your games, then you offload the console if you choose to do so. I would say most people who are keeping a PlayStation 4 to play like PlayStation 3 stuff on there, you know, I would get that. I would understand that. But if you're trying to strategize like we talked about earlier, don't sell it. Not now. Wait. Be smart. Be smart. Okay. PS5 with the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc. You can play, digital versions, obviously. It has the storage. You can play physical versions. Hallelujah. When you sign into your PS5, your account for PlayStation Network, you will automatically see your library of played PS4 content come through the menu, right? Boop, 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 boop. That is beautiful. Okay, it's all about seamless, the flow of transition from PS4 to PS5. I love that. Be sure to keep the PS5 console updated on the latest OS and apply all available game patches to the game. I'm under the impression that the majority of console owners do this, except for that one time where we updated Red Dead Redemption 2 and deer were running around with no heads, carriages were being drawn with no horses. I couldn't find my gun and the game would crash every time I would go to see that crazy animal lady. You want to talk about being pissed? What is the PS4 game experience like? Let's talk about it. PS4 titles get even better on PS5. Select titles. I'm sorry, y'all. I keep clicking back and forth. Make sure you aren't chatting anything. Select titles. Alley, ho, get it together. Thank you. Select PS4 titles will see increased loading speeds on the PS5 console. I like that. We'll also leverage Game Boost, offering improved or more stable frame rates. Some of these games need that. I don't know if any of you all played Dead by Daylight on PS4. It could definitely use Game Boost. And the developers of Dead by Daylight say if you own the PS4 version, you're getting an automatic free upgrade for the PS5 to take advantage of these features. So, bravo. If you don't play Dead by Daylight, it's on sale for $11.99 on the PlayStation Store. You didn't pay $60 for it, you paid $12. Be smart, save that money. Some titles with unlocked frame rates or dynamic resolution up to 4K may see higher fidelity. And additionally, PS4 games will also take advantage of PS5 new UX features. But more to come on that later. Word on the street is you're going to see some more UI leaks next week. That's what my inside source has told me. When we get into potential Wave 3 pre-orders, we will talk about that. Okay, so PlayStation VR games backwards compatible. So I don't use PlayStation VR. I have some friends who own PlayStation VR. They picked it up. They put it down. It wasn't pretty. Alas, here we are. Okay. But if this is for you, I want to make sure you have the information. Yes, PlayStation VR and games are included among the thousands of PS4 games that will be playable on PS5. That's a good thing. Please note that playing PSVR games on a PS5 console requires the VR headset, your DualShock 4 wireless controller or PS Move controllers, and the PS camera for PlayStation 4, which is sold separately from the PS5 console. Also, now this is very important, extremely important if you are all about that PlayStation VR life. The PlayStation 5 HD camera is not compatible with the PS VR on PlayStation 5. You'll need to use the PS camera for PS4 and the PS camera adapter, no purchase required, to use the PSVR on PS5. So I would say this. Here's a second tip of the day. Even if you don't have the PSVR, get this PlayStation camera adapter. Get the camera adapter, because we don't know what the future holds, and who is to say that Sony is not working on a PS5 gen version of their VR contraption. But just like any good accessory, if PlayStation stops making them and they run out, and you might see a PSVR used for a price that's too good to pass up, and you don't have this camera adapter and your SOL, I would say once Sony drops this camera adapter on the website, just go ahead and get one. If it's at no purchase necessary, they send it to you. Take advantage of it. I think this is a lot of hoopla, though, to go through the process of VR, and you're selling this accessory, right? You're selling this bougie camera accessory that nobody is buying. And when I say nobody, I mean nobody. Outside of the spare controller And we've talked about my reasons as to why I think people are waiting on getting a secondary controller. I think people are trying to see if a new color is going to drop at launch time, which I don't think it is based upon my inside sources. So really, you need to get a second controller, real talk. This is, outside of the secondary controller, this is the only accessory that is readily available. I mean, nobody wants it. Because people, now that people who are actually getting into streaming, they're not going to use this camera to do it. I know it's budget conscious, but people who are really looking and researching into streaming, it's more than just the camera, right? It's the lighting, it's the equipment, it's the specs on your streaming PC. There's a whole bunch of different things. And I know you could use this and not even need a streaming PC in order to stream. But I've even talked about the camera, and we still don't even have the details yet. Unless this is 60 frames per second, don't buy it. I don't even think they've dropped this. This is how you know nobody wants the camera. It's readily available on PlayStationStore.com. Nobody wants this damn camera. They could have stopped making this camera and put more usage into an accessory that actually matters to me. Look at this. Look at this. I'm sorry, y'all. Due to high demand, this product is limited to one per household. High demand where? In Botswana? Where is this in high demand? At bingo night? Where is this in high demand? It's not high demand here. I still have yet to see the frame rate on this camera, and guess what? They don't show it. Oh, but here's the thing. Media Remote is out of stock on PS5. It's in stock at Best Buy, Target. We will talk about readily available. We will talk about readily available accessories later. Hello. Okay. So yes, the HD camera, don't buy that accessory if you think you can use it with your PlayStation VR. You will be sadly mistaken and SOL. What about PS4 games on PS Now, PlayStation Plus? Backwards, they are included. They will run. Beautiful. Can I stream PS4 games on PS5? Yes. Remote play for PS4 to PS5 and PS Now streaming are supported. The benefit of streaming is that you can save your storage space on the PS5. Please note that PS4 games will not leverage Game Boost through streaming. One of my good homegirls, Queen BL, she's the honorary secondary hoe of 2 hoes and a console, has been streaming Assassin's Creed. Please follow her on her channel. This is good news, because sometimes she will just turn on remote play, stream it, I can watch, life's great. This is good news to hear. Or sometimes people are in a party chat, and sometimes people just hop in a party chat and they just want to chat. They don't feel like gaming, but they want to watch. And now we can make sure that remote play will work. You might not have Game Boost, but again, at this stage, I think the most important part of this question is the functionality. Will remote play functionality work on PlayStation 5 with PS4 games? Yes, it will. I'll take that. Again, now this is important, very important information. How do you transfer PS4 games to PS5 and have game saves work on the PS5? So when we're talking about transferring data, we're talking about transferring all of the data. Yes, I hope it's efficient too. I hope it's efficient. We're definitely live on Twitch and YouTube at 2 hoes and a console. Queen BL on Twitch, yeah. We will. I think this is where technology really matters, right? People who are using hardline connections to online game, and people who have upgraded Wi-Fi routers, modems, to be able to do that. I think it's going to be very, very important to make sure people upgrade your tech. That's another tip. If you haven't thought about it, that is another tip. You need to make sure you take this time, and I talked about it earlier, make sure you get an upgraded model, whether it's a Cat 6 or Cat 7 Ethernet cable for your PlayStation 5. If you need to, call your internet service provider and ask them to check the make and model of your modem box and see how old is it, because now would be the perfect time to swap out for the latest model modem. Or if you have a third-party modem, now would be the time to compare and contrast the specs in terms of the modem you have versus what's out there. Again, future-proofing, just making sure your gaming experience is as positive as possible. So let's talk about transferring these games. You can transfer digital games, game data, game saves from your PS4 to a PS5 using LAN cables or connecting wirelessly Wi-Fi. So when we're talking LAN cables, we're talking back-to-back. We're talking about you take an Ethernet cable, you plug it into the Ethernet port of the PS4, and then you take the other end of the Ethernet cable and you plug it into the PS5. A lot of times when you can actually transfer computer data that way, Ethernet to Ethernet. You will do this, and I think it will be the fastest way to do it instead of having to worry about the bandwidth weighing down on your Wi-Fi. So make sure, I think that's another reason why it's important if you're able to secure a console pre-order for launch day. This is going to be one of the benefits of doing that, right? We're assuming that these major retailers, at the very least, Target, Best Buy, GameStop, maybe Walmart, maybe not, will be doing midnight launches and midnight releases for secured pre-orders of the PS5 console, and also, as we've talked about earlier, having a handful of non-pre-ordered consoles available for purchase, first come, first serve, one per household, yada yada shmada, okay? The first thing I'm going to be doing outside of unboxing, I will be doing a live unboxing on this channel when I pick it up. So I am on Pacific time right now. So by the time I get back to the crib, it'll probably be early in the morning, but I'll be pumped on adrenaline. I will be doing a live unboxing of my PlayStation 5 console. So make sure you like, follow, share, and subscribe so you can tune into that. But after I take the console out of the box, the first thing I'm going to do is start transferring data, right? You want to be able to make sure that while you are asleep, and again, I'm talking to people who are going to be able to secure their console launch day, you really want to work on making sure your data is transferred. That's going to be the most important thing. So you're going to unbox your console, you're going to take a LAN cable, back to the PS4, back to the PS5, and then we're going to start doing a data transfer. Okay, if you've already stored PS4 games and game data on an external USB storage device connected to your PS4, you can bring them over to PS5 with an external USB storage. And if you're a PS Plus member, you can also sync PS4 games saved on PS5 through cloud storage. So that is promising there. I think where it's going to matter is going to be your story modes, right? So to me, this tells me online mode. If I had a digital download of GTA 5, I can just download it from the PlayStation Store because it's going to show up in my catalog library of previously owned games on PlayStation 4. Download it to the hard drive of PS5. I can turn on GTA, go to online mode, and I should be able to pick up where I left off. Story mode, you're going to want to focus on transferring. Now, I don't think most people have a 1 terabyte USB drive. You might have a 500 gig. You might have a 750 gig. I don't think most people have a 1 terabyte USB stick, but that is also another option. Again, we want to do the best option that doesn't require straining down the Wi-Fi signal. You also have to remember too, what are people mostly doing at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning? They're sleeping. So take advantage of the free space while it's available to you. One question, people go to be outside or night for release date. Right. Let's talk about that for a quick second, Shadow. Glad you asked that question. Appreciate you tuning in. So again, the strategy that we talked about, right? If you secured your pre-order, you've secured it, I've secured it, we're golden. It really doesn't matter what time we show up because our order is secured, right? So if they do a midnight launch, for me, I'm taking that launch Thursday and Friday off of work. So Wednesday evening, I will probably get there, just for the sake of assuming parking isn't terrible, probably around like 10:30-ish. Just because I don't need to get there at 7 or 8 o'clock because we've secured our pre-orders. Get there around 10:30, make sure my mask is right and tight, got Lysol spray in case someone wants to try some BS. And then when it gets closer to 11:30, 11:45, I'm sure that's when employees will start coming out talking to people about who secured pre-orders. They want proof of purchase. They want order numbers. They want identification. They want all that stuff. So I would say, since the console comes out Thursday, November 12th, Wednesday, November 11th, 10:30, even 11 o'clock. Get over there, kick it until midnight launch. Now, for people who have not secured their PS5 pre-order, let me go in between for a second. For people who have not secured their PS5 pre-order, and I'm also going to make a separate video about this, because I'm pretty confident people are searching this information on YouTube in terms of being able to figure out where am I going to be able to find a PlayStation. Okay, so what I am recommending to people is that Wednesday evening you get to a retailer by 8 p.m. local time. If you're on Eastern time, it's 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're on Central, 8 p.m. Central. Mountain, 8 p.m. Mountain. Pacific, 8 p.m. Pacific, or 8 p.m. wherever you reside on planet Earth, when the console launches on Thursday the 12th. If it launches the 17th, you can just do the same thing, but just do it for November 16th. You need to get there by 8 p.m. at the extreme latest. Honest to God, I would get there between 6 and 7. But, again, people get off at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. They need to see their family. They need to eat something. I understand the strife. Get there by 8 p.m. Wednesday the night before. You wait in line. It's nobody's business. It's nobody's business if you have a pre-order or if you don't have a pre-order. By 11:30, someone's going to come out. They're going to say, raise your hand if you have pre-orders here. Raise your hand if you don't have pre-orders here. They're going to tell you we have X amount physical, X amount digital. They might not have any digital. If they do have digital, it's not going to be more than 2. They're going to say, pick which one you want. You're not going to be able to do it on a payment plan. You're going to have to pay for it up front. And then knock out your PS5 console launch day situation that way. Some people are going to be camping out. I think the people who are camping out, well, we are nerds. We do a whole bunch of different scenarios. I would say the likelihood of people camping out maybe the night before are people who probably don't have a pre-order. But some people just want to camp out for the experience to live stream or whatever. I'm not doing that. I have a life. I'm not doing that. That's going to be your best shot. I would do Best Buy first. I would do Target second. I would do GameStop third. Really, you could switch between GameStop and Walmart in terms of third place. Walmart's customer service is just trash, and Walmart is always a free-for-all. I just don't think Walmart has the organization down to be able to manage it. But if you had to pick between Walmart and GameStop, I would actually pick Walmart because they're a larger retailer. They have larger purchase orders, larger quantities. It increases the probability of you potentially being able to buy a PS5 console come launch day. Okay. I do have a life, Queen Bee. I have plenty of things to do. Plenty. But that's the game plan. That's the strategy. Wednesday, November 11th. Queen Bee's going to follow that strategy, aren't you? Aren't you, Queen Bee? Aren't you? Aren't you? Let's get back to it. Rude. But this is great, right? That is also something else you could do. If you have an external USB hard drive, transfer that data now and then transfer it from a spare external hard drive that's laying around. That's also an option. If you have a 500 gig or 1 terabyte SSD external hard drive, that would be a quick transfer. You know, move your stuff over from the PS4 to the external hard drive, and then input it from the external hard drive to the PS5, right? Please note that the ability to transfer game saves to PS4 and PS5 is a developer decision and will vary title by title for cross-gen games. Now, we have heard good news from various developers. Naughty Dog on Twitter talked about how everything is going to transfer over. The one developer that I care about that we haven't heard from is Rockstar. And if we go to Rockstar, do we see anything about backwards compatibility game saves? No. So until, again, online mode, Rockstar is not that much of a dumbass. Online mode will be fine. My concern has to deal with my story modes, my Red Dead Redemption story modes, my Bully Scholarship Edition story modes, my GTA story modes. I am currently in the process right now of extremely slowly playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And it's a very painstaking process because my first PS5, my first Grand Theft Auto experience was GTA 5 on PS3. And so when you've had the bougie privilege of playing on PS3 and PS4, and then you go to a backwards game from like old heads like my homegirl Queen BL, who has played San Andreas from her PS2 days, and now I'm starting to play San Andreas for the first time on PS2, and the inconvenience of when you die, you have to run all the way back to the start point. It's a pain in the ass. And the very little percentages of improvements that I've had in story mode, I don't want to lose. Queen B, if I lose that capability, I'm not playing that game. It's not happening. It's not. I am finishing that game, damn it. I am going to finish it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. If that's what it takes for me. But this is why I brought up Naughty Dog, right? One, because they're not stupid, because they do PlayStation exclusives. They're not stupid. Again, the developers serve at the pleasure of the consumer. Why would they screw you over like that? We're excited to share that all of our PS4 games will be backwards compatible on PS5, including Last of Us Part 2, Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Uncharted 1, 3, and the Jack series. When Rockstar says something, you'll be the first to know. You'll hear it from my lips to the video game god's ears, okay? For Spider-Man Miles Morales, important information. When players decide to upgrade from PS4 to PS5, their game saves will transfer. Let's pay attention to this asterisk. We're going to look up that asterisk later. Sackboy: A Big Adventure will also support game save transfers from PS4 to PS5 in an update, that will be delivered shortly after the release of the game. Asterisk, we will pay attention to that. We'll share additional details on both games closer to launch, y'all. So, okay, this is tough for me because we talked about it. The launch edition, the ultimate launch edition of Spider-Man Miles Morales that has the remastered version of the previous version of Spider-Man that is exclusive for PS5. That remaster is a PS5 remaster. That is the version of the game you need to purchase. And you can only purchase the ultimate launch edition version of Spider-Man Miles Morales for PS5. They will not have that. They're not selling it for PS4. They're not selling the ultimate launch edition for PS4. Okay? Here's the thing, though. Again, with Black Friday, some people may see, you may see it. If you are looking for the PS4 version only of Miles Morales, you may see a little discount if you wait to purchase the game. Don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Okay? Don't say I told you so. Right? Like, this is how Black Friday works with PlayStation. A lot of people get FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. And then if you would have just waited an extra 2 weeks, you could have got $10, $15, $20 off the game. Your quality of life would have been better, right? But we're going to look up these asterisks at the bottom of this blog. It's a long-ass blog. How will I know PS4 games aren't playable? Games that are only playable will be noted as playable as PS4 only. We have a list of games along with additional information on backwards compatibility here. If players originally purchase a PS4 game disc, the PS5 with the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive is required to upgrade to the PS5 version of the game and transfer the saves. Meaning you cannot get rid of the disc. If you have the PS4 disc, you can't download the game on PS5, have it saved to the hard drive, then pull the disc out and think you're all gravy. If that's the route you want to go, then you need to start buying the digital versions of those games over the course of the next month and then put your physical copies up for sale and see if that makes sense. Okay? So that's what the asterisk was for. That's what that asterisk represented. Let's see what's over here real quick, though. Woo! I think this is the most important thing that matters right here. These are the titles that aren't compatible right now with PS5 that are currently on PS4. Do you play any of those titles? Because I sure as hell don't. DWVR, Afro Samurai, TT Isle of Man, Just Deal With It, Shadow Complex Remastered, Robinson the Journey, We Sing, Hitman Go, Shadwin, and Joe's Diner. I don't play any of those games. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Queen Bee. Over on Twitch. Who plays these games? Your mama? I don't know. I mean, let's look some up. Joe's Crab Shack. Eat at Joe's. Joe's Crab Shack on PS4. What is this? What is this? Joe's Diner. Somewhere along the vulnerable Route 7 in the middle of nowhere, you'll find Joe's Diner as an employee working the graveyard shift for the next month. Your primary task is to keep the tables clean. Unfortunately, there's a rub to it. The old diner was built on a site of a former Indian cemetery. Amongst the buried, two rival chieftains are laid to rest. While alive, each could not stand each other. One chieftain endeavors only to rest in peace. The other, a prankster, both in life and the afterlife, prone to ruffle the feathers of his fellow chief. Work over 30 night shifts. First of all, why play a game that you know is going to give you PTSD? This is like... You are working graveyard shift at Waffle House, and you have the ghost of Indian past and the ghost of Indian future here to terrorize you on your work shift. Don't worry, I'll wash my hands. Y'all, we've been stressing this whole time about backwards compatibility because it's a case-by-case basis, developer by developer, in terms of if your saves will transfer over or not. And you're telling me that the game that we have to worry about not working on PS5 is Joe's Diner? Who owns this. If you are in the chat, if you own this, please let a hoe know. Please let a hoe. I don't know how you could have innovative gameplay working the night shift at a diner. Can somebody explain this to me? Keep things calm to not incur the angry chieftain's wrath. What? Did we not make his hash browns smothered and covered? Did we give him sausage instead of bacon with his scrambled eggs? Help me out. Atmospheric graphics with fantastic lighting. You know what? Whoever was the marketing intern for this game should get a bonus. I mean, deactivate all objects after the chieftain does his monkey business? Did I say a bonus? I think there could have been some better verbiage here. Queen BL. Okay. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Premium sound, scenery, and effects from the makers of Pineview Drive. This is the horse crap I'm talking about. See Joe's Diner in action. Where's the freaking action? There's no action. Does anybody own this game? Oh my God. This is like the kitchen in San Andreas. Who would want to eat there? See, this is how COVID spreads, y'all. Y'all don't think COVID's real. This is how COVID spreads. Joe's Diner. I am baffled. Will it tell me how much the download is? How much is it? $20? You know I gotta hit the play button. You know I gotta hit the play button. Oh God. I don't know if I can guarantee sound. Let's see what it do. Sounds up.
Somewhere
so 20
along,
seconds went into developer credits. That's the game's
in the middle
trash.
of nowhere, built on the remains of an old Native American cemetery, is Joe's Diner. It is likely you would have never heard of this place in your life, had you not been sent there as a vacation replacement for a month. Clear all the tables and make sure it's quiet during the night shift. That's what the instructions said.
No gameplay? That's it? That's it? I have so many questions. Are you kidding me? No gameplay? Look at 20 ratings, 2 stars. Can we read these? Is that possible? Can we read these? Crap, crap, crap. People who have bought this have also bought crap. And of course you won't let me read the reviews. Wow. Ladies, gents, however you choose to identify, Joe's Diner will not be compatible on PS5. And I don't even know if I could even give a moment of silence right? Like I'm so confused. I am so confused. See, this is the type of stuff. Okay, so let me be like Juvenile and back the ass up. This is so kudos to the developers that actually matter, to making sure, and I'm assuming Rockstar will hopefully put out a statement and get out of their own butthole and say, yes, you will have everything you need for your PS5 transition. Kudos to the developers who actually are taking care of their consumers. Okay? Kudos to you. And kudos to Sony for putting out the statement a month ahead of launch. 99.99999% of your games will be compatible. Kudos. But I have questions. Queen BL on Twitch. Is it a horror game? Number 2, it's a diner in the middle of nowhere, but you have to work to keep the tables clean, also known as slavery. Rule number 3, who is even eating there in the middle of... Right? When you see a Waffle House in the middle of nowhere, it's lit the fuck up. Lit! Yellow squares, black font, lights are bright. Somebody's in there getting a 2 waffle and their hash browns smothered and covered. Somebody, somewhere. Tumbleweeds in the back, Waffle House is popping. I didn't see no chieftains. I didn't see no battle royale to the ghost afterlife. I want to say death because ghosts are spirits. I didn't see any opportunities to re-up, right? Do you start as the overnight short order cook or short order dishwasher? Can you work to be the assistant manager, general manager, the proprietor of the property? You know, are you able to win and beat the ghosts and set their spirits free and move the graves? Like, who is Joe? Thank you. Who the is Joe? I'm very perplexed. I just don't like people's time. I don't like folks' time being wasted. I don't like the time being wasted. Because that's how I feel. I'm gonna make myself a little bigger again. I don't like folks times being wasted. Because we're already investing into the console, right? Why in the world are you gonna put the fear of God in somebody, making them think your game might not work? All those VC purchases and upgrades and bundle packs that you bought are all for nothing. You're gonna have to start from scratch. And then it's like Joe's Diner. You know what? I actually want to meet the person who is in their bedroom crying right now because they read that their copy of Joe's Diner will not be compatible with their PlayStation 5 pre-order that they secured. I want to meet that person and have like a one-on-one with them, like an Oprah moment. Like, breaking news, special edition interview. The one mofo on planet Earth who purchased Joe's Diner not being compatible on PlayStation 5. How do you feel about that? Well, I had a conversation with my therapist. I tried to reach out to developer support, and the line was disconnected. I reached out to support at joesdiner.com, and the email bounced. I'm just... Joe's Diner. Can't play Joe's Diner. Can't play it. And look at all these other games. I feel like some of these games sound familiar. Right? Like Hitman Go sounds familiar, but it's like, does anybody play these games? Hitman Go PC, PS4. But Hitman 1, 2, and 3 will work. So what is the big deal with this? Simple play, default master. Was it like a board game version of Hitman? Huh. Again, $7.99 doesn't seem to be the end of the world, but you know, I'm curious about the remainder of these games. Because in case, you know, I don't want to be disrespectful to someone who actually owns one of these games and excuse me, is really passionate about playing it. But I was under the impression that the top 100 played games are fine until the developer says in terms of saves if they could transfer or not. Shadwin, to kill or not kill, that is the question. Stealth action game, only rules to remain unseen, stay hidden, or the ruthless guards will kill you on sight. Oh, anytime I see stuff like this, I'm getting Assassin's Creed PTSD. I'm getting oh God. I'm getting Assassin's Creed Odyssey PTSD. No. Where's that list? We sing. Let's see. Some of y'all might own these games, and you want them on PS5, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but a hoe is curious. This game was on the Wii? Initial release, 2009. Y'all. Isn't that what's the dancing game? Just Dance? What's that game called? It has like all these different versions of it. That's what I call dancing or something, or I think isn't it called Just Dance? There's gonna be a version on PS5 of Just Dance. Isn't that enough? What is this? Robinson the Journey. Christ. 26. Huh. Oh, this is VR. Let's see if this link will work. That link works. Yeah, this is a VR game. Looks interesting. Somebody wants to get their Jurassic Park avatar on. But you gotta have PlayStation VR to play it. How much is it? $30. 400 reviews, 3.5 out of 5 stars for a VR game. So if I know some folks who do watch have PlayStation VR, if PlayStation VR matters to you, and if this specific game on PlayStation VR matters to you, you need to brace yourself, because it's not going to be compatible on the PlayStation 5. Not compatible. There's only a handful of games left. We'll check them just in case. I am curious though, like who decides what is and isn't compatible. Maybe developers were just like, I don't feel like 2009? Bruh. If as we go through this list of non-compatible PlayStation 4 games that will not work on PlayStation 5, if this does not give you an understanding of how you should just get a PlayStation 5 keep it until early December, get all the games that you want off of PlayStation 4 at a discounted price, transfer them over to the PS5 library, digital download, disc, whatever, and then sell your PS4, and then just use that to make the price difference of your actual total cost for the console, the PS5 console. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10! Future-proof. We talked about it earlier tonight, folks. Future-proof. The console is future-proof. It is you get the return on this investment is wonderful. TT Isle of Man 2, initial release date 2020. Huh. So I think this is a game that people may care about. But I'm seeing a lot of PC. Is that the actual name of the game? It is. Oh, okay. This might be, out of all the games listed, this might be the most relevant for folks. It came out this year. For some folks, not all, some folks. TT Isle of Man, Right on the Edge 2, excuse me, will not be compatible on PlayStation 5. I don't know why I have the camera pulled up, or Wario's page. I'm clicking all over the place. What's wrong with me? Okay. There's a couple more games to research, and we'll move on to the final topic. I appreciate you all tuning in. Afro Samurai 2015. Look at that fro, though. Look at that fro. Ew. One star. 1 star. I kind of want to see this trailer. Just as a black woman. Really? You're going to make me put on my birthday? Yeah, that's when I was born. Look at this! Why have I never heard of this? Queen Bee, has Malcolm heard of this? What is this? What is this What is this non-compatible? I'm gonna get you, sucker. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was not prepared. I was not prepared for that. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna try this again. Look at this dude right here. Well, I feel like I dated a guy who looked like that once. Shame face. Shame face. This is the part where we push play. I have to see this. What is this? Is volume up? Okay, bet. What is this? Partial nudity. I mean, he did have his chest open. Oh, he's kind of cute. Hey. Hey, you.
Yes, story of life. Kuma versus Afro. Modded long travels, battles in the shadows. Brother versus brother. One is chasing, one is running. See the passes catching the fast. Might as well accept what's coming. What are you running? Where are you going? No, I'm fast. Here's your chance. Seize the moment now. Never seems to be ending to infinity. No surrendering, giving their everything till death is their identity. Yes, I don't know where you think you were going. They're nearly 2 seconds away from imploding. Enter the cipher and keep on decoding. Chasing through night and catching in morning. Number one heaven, the only true portion. Afro's on fire and Kuma is scorching. Openly forces the warrior's horses approaching. Flow, close by, you feel the emotion. From a distance you hear the commotion. Gravity's pulling, velocity's pushing. Yes, yes. Hey, play the back is like pinning a cushion. Any truth they just end up crushing. Any trace they just end up dusting. Rest, there is no rest for the wicked man. Quicker than the switch of hand. Kill a beat, kill, stick to plan. They skill to be real, a gifted craft. Look alive when you get the glance. Strategically kill at will. Can't wait to fulfill when they get the chance. A story of life. Kumo versus Afro. Long travels, battles in the shadows. Brother versus brother. One is chasing, one is running. See the fast is catching up fast. Might as well accept what's coming. Where are you running? Where are you going? No one fast. Here's your chance. See the moment now. Never seems to be ending to infinity. No surrendering, giving their everything till death is their identity. Yes.
Ooh. Smoking a joint. They should have started it with that. They should have started it with that. Nah. It didn't smack. So either that developer just doesn't have the funding to make it PS5 compatible. It didn't smack the way it needed to smack. It's like, so you have a music video and the gameplay doesn't match the intensity of the person rapping. It's just very lackluster. So when we go back to that list of incompatible PS4 games that will not work on PS5, we're now starting to understand why. Outside of that TT Isle of Man game, every other game is like the person who was picked last on the kickball team. And then the final game here, DWVR. Okay, so this is, again, a PSVR game. If you don't have it, it's irrelevant to you. If you do have it and you care about PlayStation VR compatibility with the PS5 and you own this game, $15. You need to know that this game will not work on the PS5. Very interesting information when you think about it. I think the Queen Bee, why is this happening? You know, why is the sky blue? Oh, I don't know what we just watched. I just know it wasn't good. I don't know what we just watched. I just know it wasn't good. I think if anything, it's important to understand that the games that are most relevant to us folks here will work on PlayStation 5. But it's also important because some folks buy indie specific games. Some folks, these games might have a fan base. And if someone from that fan base watches, I want to make sure that they have as much up-to-date information as I can personally possibly provide. Because that's all we're here doing. We're providing information for your everyday life. I think it's important now. I was going to talk about briefly about the DDR5. They were talking about the comparison to Xbox, and then we will talk about next steps for if you are trying. We will go over one more time next steps for if you're trying to secure a pre-order in terms of next waves of pre-orders. I appreciate you all tuning in. Please like, follow, share if you care. Subscribe and ring that bell because a hoe's trying to grow. Apparently, the PS5 solid state has DRAM cache in it, which makes it a benefit over the Xbox Series S solid state drive. Again, we talked about it earlier. Nobody cares about your T-flops, microflops, nobody. That's a cute little ad in the bottom. Sony's recent PS5 Teardown revealed a lot of hidden details about the next-gen console. The SSD has DRAM cache, okay, which gives benefits to the console, okay? Shout out to Anthony Davis on Twitter. Talked about faster read and write speeds, again, which is used in high-quality PCs, solid-state drives. The Xbox Series S SSD lacks a DRAM cache. Okay? While cheaper PC solid-state drives also not support this feature. Is Xbox not future-proofing their console? Right? You have to remember this. Sony is in the console game for life. They are future-proofing their console. Xbox is going the route of, we can't beat Sony in the console game. Hell, they can't even beat Nintendo in the console game. Nintendo Switch has 20 million consoles up in terms of units sold over the Xbox. That's insulting. Very insulting. So the route that Xbox is going is, you don't need a console to play our games. You could play them on PC, you could play them on Xbox, you can eventually play them on a mobile device, you could play them probably over Google Glass one day. Y'all remember Google Glass, don't you? Excuse me. So I say that to say, Sony has invested in the future proofing. Xbox has not. That's it. That's it. Which is another reason why, oh, look at this ad here. Okay, no hate, discriminate. You best go out and vote, all that horse nanny, right? Which I say this to say, we talked about it earlier. If you are going to secure a PS5, keep your PlayStation 4 through the Thanksgiving Black Friday holiday, buy your games on PS4, excluding the remastered PS5 model only games, and then digital download them on PS5, and then sell your PS4 console, and then take the money you make from selling your PS4 console and use that to discount the price of a PS5. Let me be very clear about something. A lot of people are not going to be able to secure a PS5 this holiday season. It's not happening. It's not happening. A lot of people will not own a PlayStation 5 in 2020. It's not happening. A lot of people are going to keep using a PlayStation 4 till 2021, 22, 23, 24, maybe 25 on a consistent basis as their primary gaming console. You will be able to sell your PS4. If you still have the box for it, if it's in pristine condition and clean, and you have a great reputation on whichever third-party reseller site you use. I'm not talking about eBay. I'm pretty much talking about like Craigslist, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace. You should be able to potentially get controller and the console only between $150 to $250 for your original PS4, and between $200 and $300 for your PS4 Pro. You cannot buy a PS4 Pro right now. I don't know if anybody told y'all that. They don't have them for sale right now. At least at the other retailers they don't. Okay, so you can, let me go back here for a moment. Excuse me with the sniffles. You can, I do not have COVID, I swear. You can buy the Pro on the PlayStation Store website, but look at the price. It's the same price as the digital. Oh my God, it's the same price as the digital. Here's another nugget of information, right? And I appreciate you all, whoever's tuning in on YouTube, whoever's tuning in on Twitch. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. It's your girl, Allie A, 2 Hoes and a Console. Fairly new channel. We game, we stream. Right now, we're in hunting season for PlayStation 5. It's PS5 content. The PS5 digital download console is the steal of the decade. It is the steal of the decade. If you can find one at manufactured suggested retail pricing, it is the steal of the decade. Why would I now here's the thing, and here's the other thing you have to watch for too. I don't know if retailers are going to do it, because to my knowledge, retailers have pulled the PS4 Pro. If I could spell. Oh my God. Can she spell? Kind of. Sometimes. What does that say? What does that say? What does that say? They've pulled it. They've pulled it. They've pulled it. They've pulled it. You can't buy it at Best Buy. So you can only buy it directly from, typing in Best Buy. See where my brain is at? So you can't buy it from Best Buy. And I spelled it right. And you can't find it. Okay, PlayStation 4 consoles. They don't even have the consoles? That's a charging fan. They don't have the consoles? What? The devil is a lie. Walmart, you got to be careful because sometimes you see third-party resellers, so you have to make sure that whatever you look at is actually... Look at these prices. And these are third-party distributors. You don't see non-manufactured retail pricing if it's not from a third party. Right? Like if I click on this, sold and shipped by worldwide distributors. And see, this is the ish that drives me nuts. I can go to PlayStation Store right now and attempt to purchase it. I don't know if it'll let me add it to the cart or not, but this is telling you they're pulling these. They're pulling them to prep for the PlayStation 5. Now, again, as I said earlier, if you own a PlayStation 4 Pro and you want to hold off for a year, maybe two, until your coin situation is right to get a PS5, power to you. Power to a Calabunga, power to you. But if you could find a digital version for the same price of the Pro console brand new and sell your Pro and try to get as close to $300 as you can, that makes the console $99 to $150. The PS5? Do the math. It's an investment in the future. Now, that's why I said some games where you're not going to see it on the PS4 Pro, you're not going to see it in terms of load times. You're not going to see it in terms of SSD storage, right? So you do have the capability with certain games to be able to already game in 4K on PlayStation 4. Some games might just be 4K video quality, 30 frames per second. Some games do give you 60 frames per second capability on the PS4 Pro. But when I see them being pulled from every shelf and now they're only focusing on PS5, and let me be clear, if you know somebody who's in the market for a PS4 Pro, now's the time to buy it. But I think it would be a disservice to you if you would be willing to buy a PS4 Pro for $399 and not at least go through the grind of trying to get a digital version for the same price. Or take the next 4 weeks that we have between now and launch day on Thursday, November 12th, and scrape up an extra $100. If you've got $400 right now to drop on this Pro console, take the next 4 weeks to figure out how can I get an extra $25 a week plus tax, unless you live in Delaware, to be able to secure a disc version of the PS5. I'm shocked. I'm shocked at this. Because I noticed it earlier that they were pulling these. Real quick though, someone had asked me earlier, accessories that are available because the PlayStation Store doesn't have all of them. They don't have the headset. They have the controller. Everybody has the controller. Everybody has the camera. They have the charging station. I highly recommend people to get the charging station. I've been wired for so long, and I've just now come to the realization that it's an inconvenience. I'm also an old school hoe. Get the charging station. If you know anybody who wants the charging station, I'm going to go ahead and throw this link into the party chat so you can see it on Twitch, on YouTube. If you know anybody who is looking for the charging station, by all means, cop that. Again, you treat this like Thanksgiving. The PS5 console is the turkey, but the side items are just as important sometimes at Thanksgiving as the turkey. Secure your games, secure your accessories to secure those side items, and then we focus on the turkey when we can focus on the turkey. Camera, nobody cares about that damn camera. Said no one. Said no, I should have clicked shop. I'm like, where's the remote? Because it was showing earlier they didn't have the media remote. They have the controller. They have the charging station. They have the camera. They are out of the headset. They are out of the remote. If you know someone that needs the remote, ooh, what is this? Is this a PlayStation credit card? Did y'all know about this? Did y'all put in the chat if y'all, I didn't know about, did y'all know about this? The official card of PlayStation. Score 0% introductory APR plus earn 10x Sony rewards points with the PlayStation Visa credit card. Receive 0% interest for 6 months, starting when you open by December 31st. After that, your interest rate's high as hell, plus 10 extra rewards points when you buy directly from PlayStation until the end of the year. They're getting smart. They know these consoles, these accessories, these games are investments. They're getting smart. Sony, kudos to you. Kudos to you. They're getting smart. If you know somebody who's not trying to do cash up front and has their credit in a situation where they feel like they would benefit from a card like this, let your folks know. Let your people know. PlayStation got a card, y'all. PlayStation got a card. We learn every day, don't we? What I was going to say is the media remote is in stock at Target. If you know anybody who wants the media remote, is in stock on Best Buy. Because if it's not, I will throw the Target link up there. It is in stock on Best Buy. Out of that headset. This is what I was talking about earlier, upgrading your Ethernet cable if you hardline. Most hardcore gamers hardline, but I know some folks have their gaming consoles not as close to their internet modem, and they might not want to run a lengthy cable all across the house. So if your Wi-Fi is beneficial from that, by all means handle it. Otherwise, definitely get a Cat 6. I think you get these much cheaper on Amazon. But a Cat 6 or Cat 7 Ethernet cable will do the job for you. They are out of the dual charging station. But Best Buy has the remote. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Best Buy's pre-order link for the remote in the chat. If you know anybody who is looking for the media remote, go ahead and let your people know. Let my people know. Everybody is out of the consoles. While I'm doing this, let's go ahead and talk about next steps for pre-orders. So the rumor on the street, word on the street is, let's see real quick. Everybody has controller. Everybody has camera. They don't have the remote. Okay, so if you want the remote, Target, Best Buy has the remote. If you want the charging station, PlayStation directly has the, PlayStation directly has a charging station? Yeah, PlayStation has the charging station. I threw the links in the chat there. So, word on the street is that your next best chance for a pre-order is going to be Prime Day. Prime Day is Tuesday, October 13th. After, I don't know if case folks know, here in the States, it's a holiday this Monday. What used to be called Columbus Day, which most folks now are referring to as Indigenous Peoples Day, is on Monday. So a lot of institutions are going to be closed, your banks are going to be closed, things of that nature. But the day after, Tuesday, October 13th, and Wednesday, October 14th, are Prime Day. Word on the street is that Amazon is going to be restocking their third wave of pre-orders for Prime Day. What does that mean for you? You need to make sure you understand this, because there is a possibility that you may not get this console if they drop these waves of pre-orders. You may not get the console by launch day. which is November 12th. You may get it by the end of November to early to mid-December. Okay, that's what they're saying. So really, if we see a third wave of pre-orders, we need to be under the impression that if we secure a pre-order, we most likely will not be obtaining said pre-order on launch day. That is totally fine. Remember, the name of the game is securing a console. The time frame, as long as it's in the 2020 calendar year, you should be golden. As long as you're able to have it by Christmas morning and get your gaming life on, you're golden, okay? But also, alongside Amazon, there are talks of other retailers like Best Buy dropping Black Friday information and potentially another wave of pre-orders either Tuesday, October 13th or Wednesday, October 14th. So we are going to be keeping our eyes on Best Buy as well as Amazon. It's going to be very busy. Now, here's the thing with Prime Day, right? And you'll notice now, a lot of these companies have changed their buttons, right? Because some of these websites were glitching out. Now it says unavailable. If you go to Target and you look at their consoles, it'll say unavailable or sold out, where it's like you can't even glitch or click on anything, right? So the thing with Prime Day is that Prime Day starts at different times for different people, right? Whether you're Eastern time, Central time, Mountain time, I'm on Pacific time. Since it starts at different times for different folks, you're really gonna have to keep an eye out, really. Now, the trend has been for PS5 pre-orders, for pre-orders to drop during times where every time zone is usually awake. Meaning, it's not gonna drop at 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Pacific. Most people at 5 a.m. are catching Z's, right? You would most likely see something, maybe you would see a 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. You might see a 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. You might see a 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. The trend is I don't think you're going to have to stay up till the break of dawn to see if Amazon drops PS5 pre-orders. And really, even with Best Buy's trend, because they had a moment of where they had a new round of the Pulse 3D headset, which I will say, if you are able to secure that, please do. They dropped it around between 10:30 and 11 o'clock Pacific, right? Which is 1:30 to 2 p.m. Eastern. So that is the pattern, that is the trend. Pre-orders will not drop unless every time zone in the United States outside of Hawaii and Alaska are awake and aware and ready to grind. That should be news for you. That should be good relief. Hey, what's up, Scraggly Rock? What's up? Late. Last time I came early, my girlfriend. Oh, no. Sorry about the girlfriend. Sorry about that, Scraggly Rock on YouTube. Appreciate you tuning in, playa. Hopefully things work out that way. You know, holiday time is cuffing season. I don't know if anybody's ever is familiar with the term cuffing season. It's usually when people are in relationships because they don't want to be alone during the holidays, and the ability to exchange gifts and have someone to do those traditional things with, whether it's watch movies or bake Christmas cookies, exchange gifts, things like that. Usually see cuffy season happen between holiday season all the way up until around Valentine's Day. And then like relationships drop like flies. But remember this, if you're meant to be together, you will be together, right? If your girlfriend left, if you're truly meant to be with one another, the universe will bring you two together. If you're meant to be with someone else, you will be with someone else. But only you can make yourself truly happy. You do not seek happiness from others. You have to have inner happiness and inner self-worth. And hey, you got a PS5 or an Xbox pre-order. Merry motherfucking Christmas to me. That is my Christmas from Black Santa. PS5 pre-order, stay COVID free. I'm good. but sending positive vibes your way. So that is the name of the game, people. And I really believe in my spirit of spirits, unless Sony does an exclusive one more time pre-order opportunity from the Play Store site directly, this will be your last chance to secure pre-order before launch day. So you need to keep your eye open on Amazon. You need to keep your eye open on Best Buy. And really, I would say Target too. Target sometimes be dropping pre-orders and it's just like people be securing them, and I don't understand what in tarnations is happening here. But that's what you're doing. Just 1 second, y'all. So that is the word on the street today. The teardown of the PS5 from earlier this week, it is future-proof, y'all. It is future-proof. Get hype about that joint. Completely future-proof. If you own the first-gen PlayStation 5 like I do, 500 gigs, if you own the PS4 1 terabyte slim with the HDR, there is no excuse for you to not upgrade your console. If you own a PS4 and you want to wait a year, maybe 2, I understand. But if you can find that needle in a haystack, the deal of the decade, the $399 digital version, there's no excuse. There's no excuse to not do that. Target is glitchy. You are right. And I actually showed Target. Let me go back to my display. I actually showed Target earlier because now they've changed it. There's nowhere to click. It doesn't say pre-orders coming soon. It doesn't do none of that stuff. It's all of them have updated this. Target has done it, and even Best Buy has done it. Now where it's like you look at it and you can't even. It says unavailable. Don't ask. You can't click anywhere. It's unavailable. So the teardown, very pleased. Very pleased. Xbox owners, I will say this, because I'm an equal opportunity hater for everybody, whether it's PlayStation, you know, when Sony gets it right, they get it right. When they get it wrong, I'll be the first one to drag that ass, okay? Whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, PC gaming with the clickety-click and yakety-yaks and whatever, okay? If you are in the market for the Xbox Series, which one is the $299 one? The S or the X? Which one is the $299 one? S, the S is $299? Yeah. If you are in the market for an Xbox Series S for $299, to me, there's no reason why you should not just spend the extra $100 and try to find a digital download version. Right? There's no reason. There's no reason why you should not do that. You're doing yourself a disservice. Unless you're truly like, I want to play Halo, which Halo's not even a console launch day title. Which I think, as an Xbox connoisseur, if that is who you are, is a disservice to you. That is a huge disservice. Why in the hell can you not play Halo on launch day? But we want to do this and all the teraflops. Screw your frickin' teraflops. Don't nobody care about your teraflops. We already talked about the article earlier. You put in cheap solid state drive parts that don't have DRAM cache. You are not future-proofing these consoles. I'm a Sony pony. You all know this. And I do think that the PlayStation 5 is the better deal. We talked about the analyst who said PS5 could very well sell 200 million consoles in the lifespan of the console. That's very likely. That's not out of the realm of possibility. But it also talked about how the PS5 digital download version, if you can find one, is the steal of the decade. It costs Sony $450 to make the PlayStation 5. That's how much it costs them. Yes, there have been Sony executives who have gone on social media that said, oh, we determined pricing for the console earlier this year. Define earlier this year. Okay? Don't be stupid, folks, okay? Just because in the States, some of our people in various positions of power did not take COVID seriously until March of 2020, doesn't mean January and February. Where are they manufacturing the PlayStations? Where? In Asia. Who was saying COVID is real, COVID is stuff, y'all need to take this seriously? In Asia. Okay. I don't care what Sony says. I really don't. Again, I drag them when I feel like they need to be dragged. When Microsoft said the Series S was going to be $299, their jaw dropped. And they were like, we've got to do something. I'm telling you right now, they wanted to price the digital download version at $449 and have the disc version at $549. Trust and believe, I'm telling you facts. They wanted it. They might have this persona on the outside, but they wanted it, okay? Xbox Series S is going to be $299. We got to do something. They took each console down $50, and they're like, we're going to go to hell, but we ain't got no choice. Digital download $399 and disc version $499. If it costs Sony $450 to make the console, and you're getting the digital version at $399, and it has the same specs as the physical version outside of the Ultra Blu-ray drive, steal of the century. The steal of the century, right? And then this is why, and this will be the last topic we talk about for tonight. This is why most retailers aren't carrying the digital version, right? Us as a consumer, if you do not care about physical disc play, the digital seems like the creme de la creme. It would make complete and total sense. Even if you did it from a perspective of you took the main PS4 games that you have physical copies of, like I still have physical copies of GTA Red Dead that I use. If I spent the money to buy the digital download versions of those games, my storage could still transfer over, and I could sell those discs and then run a digital PS5, that would also make sense. But the retailers need you to come back time and time again for items, for merchandise. Target can't make more money off of you if you purchase a digital PS5, because you're not going to come back to buy games. Walmart can't make more money off of you. Best Buy can't make more money off you. GameStop, whose lifeline is the ability to buy, sell, and trade physical games, cannot make money off of you. It's not the fact that they don't understand that the digital PS5 is the prize of the decade. It's the fact that they don't want you to have it. They don't want you to have that prize. They broke down the data on Twitter. They reviewed gamers who have pre-ordered and secured a pre-order for next-gen consoles. Do you know what it said between PlayStation and Xbox? 72% of the people reviewed pre-ordered the physical disc version of the PS5. 8% pre-ordered digital. And it's not because folks didn't want digital. Lack of inventory on purpose. And here's the other thing, right? Sony makes more money off of the consumer from digital downloads. There's no cost for packaging the game. There's no cost for storing in a warehouse for the game. There's no cost of middlemans, right? You don't have to split up your pricing between Best Buy and Walmart and Target. Like, you don't have too many people getting your piece of pie. Digital download, it's just server storage. And Sony makes at least $6 on every digital download. $6, right? So you're telling me if the console's $399, we will take tax out of the equation. and it costs Sony $450 to make the consoles, and then you say, okay, Sony make $6 off every digital download game. It's going to take somebody purchasing 10 digital download games for them to make their money back on the console. How many people do you know own less than 10 games on a video game console? Please raise your hand. Please. Halo delay sucks, but Cyberpunk is premium in the fact that it will have super long story wins for me. If they don't delay Cyberpunk, yeah. If they don't delay that joint, I gotta wait till Halloween on Cyberpunk. I gotta wait. There's too many things that are volatile. Cyberpunk has already talked about the developers are pulling six night a week jobs. Like, people are in burnout mode to try to get the game out on time. I have to wait till Halloween to see what a true realistic expectation is for the game. I have to wait. That's just me personally, though. But when we talk about it, right? Sony's gonna make that money back tenfold, right? And we're not talking about, let's be very clear, we're not talking about, oh, Sony makes $6 on every game that's like $29.99 or whatever, right? Imagine the people who buy like the Ultimate Edition of games. The people who are gonna buy the Mamba Kobe edition of 2K21 for $100. The people who are gonna buy the Ultimate Gold edition of Assassin's Creed for $120. Sony's making big money on digital downloads, I promise you. So you also have to remember this. The console is a one-time purchase, right? Where they get you is the games, the bundle packs, the virtual currency. That's where Sony makes their money on the back end long term. So yes, if you can find one, it's going to be very, 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 very challenging to find one at retail price. But if you can find one of the digital versions, buy it. I personally, when I secured my pre-order, I secured the physical one, but that's the one I wanted. I did not want the digital one. I wanted the physical one. I'm an old school hoe. I like my discs. I know some games I have digital download because I don't care about being able to put the disc in and stuff. I still have my Rockstar games on disc. I'm fine with that. I don't mind having to switch between GTA and Red Dead with the disc. Because you know why? Your load times are gonna be improved. We're not gonna be waiting 10 minutes for GTA or Red Dead or Destiny 2 or Last of Us or Rocket League or Dead by Daylight to load anymore. The load times are lickety split. So please, 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 because I even have some friends in my gaming crew, shout out to Kilo Trinity, I have some friends in my gaming crew who are very adamant about, I want the digital version or you can kiss my entire ass. And I'm just sitting here like, and these people don't have financial constraints. These people could very easily afford a PlayStation 5. Very successful people, very proud of my friends, right? But to do yourself the disservice of having the potential to secure a PlayStation 5, if not via pre-order on launch day, we talked about launch day strategy earlier. I will continue to talk about launch day strategy as I do these streams. It's $100, bro. It's $100. It's $100, bro. It's $100. Get your head out of your ass. It's $100. Okay? Listen, it's 9 p.m. Eastern, midnight sorry, it's 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. We are going to call it a wrap for tonight. I will be streaming. My usual streaming schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I will be streaming Indigenous Peoples Monday evening just so we can recap and get ready for what will most likely be Wave 3, the last opportunity to secure a PlayStation 5 pre-order before launch. I will be making a separate YouTube video talking about launch day strategies to help you have the best probability and possible chance of securing, whether it's your PlayStation or Xbox, for the Xbox folks out there, console for this holiday season. Again, my name is Ali A. We've been streaming live on Twitch as well as YouTube, whichever platform you choose to watch. Please like the channel, follow, subscribe, and share. Aho is brand new. There's also the Streamlab link is in the description of the video. I had a couple of people slide up in the DMs asking how to donate. When you're a newer channel like myself, you don't get all the bells and whistles yet built in. They want you to build up first, so things take time. Again, I do this for free regardless. I'm just having a fun time because that's just what nerds do. I hope you have a safe, prosperous, and wonderful holiday weekend. Please wash your hands. Please wear that mask. Please go vote because COVID is real. It's your girl, Ali A. You've been watching Two Hoes and a Console. Yeah. Also, too, someone had also DM'd me asking about the music I play. The music is actually from my band, Ali A and the Agency. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Music. That is the music I play at the intro of the stream, and that's also the music I play at the end of the stream. Shout out to the band fellas. Since we aren't able to gig because the music venues are closed right now, it's extremely heartbreaking. I just figured I would share the music with folks who tune into the stream. If you like it, that's cool. If you don't like it, that's cool too. Art is a representation. It's opinionated, right? It's versatile. So you all take care. Stay safe. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. We will see you Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here live on Twitch and YouTube. Deuces, everybody.